So it is Sunday, December 8th, and I'm in the middle of too many books already for the start of this vlog. The first one is a holdover from last week, and that is Two Twisted Crowns by Rachel Gillig. About 15% of the way into this one. It is an ebook, and I did enjoy the audiobook for the first one, so I'm reading it a lot slower than I had planned to read it, but I do like the world building in this one. I think it's a unique magic system. I love the atmosphere of this book, and there's like a lyrical writing style that I really like. It is meant to be like a fantasy romance, I think, but I don't love the romance, but I did love the cliffhanger at the end of the last one, and I'm super excited to see where it goes in this one because I've been getting a little bit of backstory into like the stuff that happened at the last one. I don't want to get too much into it because I don't want to spoil the first one. I'm really excited to see where this is going. And then I did pick up 2 audiobooks yesterday because I was driving yesterday and I picked up one and I didn't love the vibes of it. So then I decided to pick up another one, which I did really love the vibes and I'm super excited for. So we'll start with that one, and it's Babel by Kuang. This was recently on my DNF video, but I did mention that if my mood changes, I could definitely pick this back up and read it. And I'm so excited because I picked it back up. I reread all of what I had read before, which is only like 20%. And I'm like, I want to say like 40% into the book at this point. This is following a character named Robin Swift. That's not his real name. That's his English name. He's from Canton. His like secret father, who's English, the father doesn't want to tell them that he's his father, but it's kind of like obvious that he is his father, is taking him back to England to study in this tower. They're called Babblers because they translate things. And then there's this magic system where like silver can help you do things, but only if you are like able to find the right words, which is how like the translation bit comes in. And like there's not a whole lot of people who can translate to Chinese. As a fluent Chinese speaker, he is like a good asset to the college, but then it also goes into like the types of things that you would expect from immigrants coming into England at that time. England or the British Empire. It's like set during the early 1800s, I believe. So like at the height of the British Empire, but it's an alternate history, obviously. I am loving this so much. It definitely has dark academia vibes. I like the hints of the magic in it without like going too much into it. Oh, there's also a secret society here, which I love that aspect of it. There's just so much in here that I'm loving so much. This is definitely like, it's already a new favorite and I'm like not even halfway through it yet. So the other audiobook that I picked up was The God of the Wood by Liz Moore. I was hoping that I would get similar like kind of like darkish vibes from this, even though this is not a fantasy, which last week had some really great like fantasy atmospheric vibes. That's what I was trying to get more into this week, which is why I picked up Babel. The God of the Wood, like it does have a good atmosphere, I would say, but it's not like fantasy at all. Like I wasn't expecting it to be fantasy at all, but I really wanted more of that fantasy atmosphere. And this one is just more of like a mystery atmosphere. There's like a summer camp and a girl goes missing, and that's about as far as I've gotten with this one. It seems to be very character driven. It follows like a bunch of different characters, so I'm excited to see where this goes. And apparently the girl that went missing, her brother had went missing the same summer camp or maybe a different summer camp a few years earlier. So yeah, I don't know what to make of that, but I am intrigued to see where this one is going as well. And then out of nowhere, last night I just was craving to have a physical book. I miss just like having a physical book. Part of it I think is because a couple weeks ago I was reading The Serpent and the Wolf, which was the first physical book that I picked up in a while, and I'd gotten to this habit of reading like 30 minutes to an hour every night, and like that actually helped me sleep a lot, and I think it was just a good routine. So I decided to pick up late last night a book to just have something to read before bed that wasn't on my iPad. And so I picked up The Bone Dolls Twin by Lynn Flewelling. This has been on my shelf for a while, like I want to say at least 4 years, and I have not heard anyone talk about it. This is a high fantasy, maybe like an epic fantasy. It's very full of political intrigue. It's set in a country called Scala, where there has been a prophecy that as long as the queens have protected this country, then the country would actually, you know, like be protected and be prosperous, which the first king, they were in the middle of a war at the time, and he went on the battlefield and crowned his daughter, and then after that they won the war, and then she was a very prolific queen after that. But recently, the most recent queen was kind of an evil queen. The country was still prosperous, but people didn't like her. So when she died, instead of passing the crown to her daughter, who was 7 years old at the time, they did to her oldest son, who was already an adult. So in the past few years, the land has had like some droughts. They've been attacked by another like country, but it's actually following Aya, who is an over 200-year-old wizard, and female wizard. She was called a witch at one point, which I think is meant to be a slur, at least in this world. And she is protecting this bowl, which has something to do with that prophecy. And that's basically as far as I've gotten. I expect this to be a very slow moving story, but I'm okay with that. I don't expect to finish this book in this week, but I think I can make a good chunk of it. The reason why I picked this up is one, because I wanted kind of like those slower vibes, and I just wanted something to be able to read before bed at night. But also, if you look at these first two blurbs, it's by George R. R. Martin and Robin Hobb, which are two of my favorite authors of all time. So I feel like this could give me some of those vibes. I'm hoping it. I'm trying to manifest those vibes, but I'm really hoping this is a new favorite of mine. I do expect it to be like super slow, kind of like how like Assassin's Apprentice was pretty slow going into it, but I don't know. We'll see. Hopefully I'll end up loving this though. So it's Monday, December 9th, and I did a thing. Two things. Actually, not even two things, three things, but the third one has not arrived yet. I have not bought books in like over a year. Like not unless it's book of the month, but other than book of the month, I have not bought any physical books in like, I want to say since last year. And the last couple of days I bought 3, and like these aren't even like on sale. Like I just bought them because I really wanted them. So the Book of Doors I've spoke about recently. The Will of the Many I read back in January. I finished it in February. One of my new favorite books of the year. And then of course the third one we'll talk about when I get it. But it was a complete whim. I had not planned to buy these books. I just wanted to have them, which I had the money to buy them. Like I haven't bought books in a really long time, so like it's fine. Like it's not bad that I bought them, and they're both 5-star books for me, so like it's fine. But at the same time, I feel like that means I'm definitely out of my reading slump, which is a good thing. I'm happy about that. But I do have like a ton of books already on my shelves that I need to get to. I'm probably gonna do some sort of reading challenge next year in order to get to more of the books that I already own, because I can't. That's part of the reason why I picked up the Bone Dolls Twin, because it's a book that I feel like I should love, and it's been on my shelf forever, so I need to read it. But that's not the one that I made progress in. I actually did make a little bit of progress on Two Twisted Crowns, and I don't like where it's going. So there's like 2 other characters that we're following that like they were in the first book, but like we didn't really get point of view narration from them. We got like a little bit. I think Elm and Ione. If you know where this is going, you know where this is going. I don't like where their plot is going. Like I don't like it, and I understand like this is a romantic series. They have to do something, but at the same time, I'm not loving it. So I don't know. We'll see how I feel about this book. But as of right now, that's not my favorite plot line. I hope like we'll get back to kind of like the nightmare plotline, because I feel like that is gonna be like where I end up really loving the story. OMG, Babel. I am completely speechless right now. Something just happened and I was not expecting it whatsoever, but I don't hate it. I actually kind of like the twist that this book has taken, and I wasn't expecting it to take, and it happens in like the worst place possible. So like the aftermath of it too reads almost like a comedy, because it's like, how are the characters like dealing with what happened, but also like how are they dealing with the aftermath? Like how are they acting? I can't explain it without saying what it is, and I don't want to give the spoiler away because it was fantastic. I love the direction this book is going. I love it so much. I'm so excited to see what happens next. By the way, it's Wednesday, December 11th. I've been listening to Babel the last couple of days. I've made a lot of progress on it. Yes, it's a new favorite. Like, I don't know how I keep getting new favorites, but like every week now it seems like I have a new favorite, and this is definitely a new favorite book, but I'm so happy about it. I also did pick up another audiobook. I realized I had finished my nonfiction and I didn't add a new nonfiction, so I picked up The Gentle Art of Swedish Death Cleaning by Margareta Magnusson. I don't know her last name. I thought this book was just like a clever title, but it would be similar to like The Life-Changing Magic of Tidying Up by Marie Kondo. But it's not just a clever title. It is actually about cleaning before your death, which is not what I expected, but I'm going into it with an open mind, and it's only a 3-hour audiobook. I'm already halfway through it, so might as well just finish it. So it is Thursday, December 12th, and could I have finished Babel yesterday? Probably. There was only 4 hours left in the audiobook, so I definitely could have, but I found myself wanting to drag it out. So instead, I decided to finish The Gentle Art of Swedish Death Cleaning. This is kind of adorable. It's like a little old lady talking about how she decluttered her house before she died, which like is adorable, but at the same time, not super useful. Like I could sum the entire thing up in like one sentence, which is get rid of your stuff before you die so that your family and friends won't hate you when they have to do it themselves. And instead, they can remember you fondly in death. Probably just not my cup of tea. I ended up giving it 3 stars though, because I did think it was an adorable story either way. I also made progress on The Bone Doll Twin by Lynn Flewelling. I am right about there now. I don't know if you can see that. I'm right about there now, about 50 pages into it. Boy, this book is dark. I feel like I knew that already, like from the overall like aesthetic of the cover and the name of the title, like The Bone Doll Twin does not sound like a lighthearted fantasy, but I feel like it's just been a while since I've read a proper like grimdark fantasy, because this book gets dark like in chapter 3 like super fast. I mentioned last time that the kingdom is being ruled by the older brother of like the rightful queen. They're supposed to have a matrilineal line. People didn't like the older queen, let her oldest son take up the throne after she died instead of the 7-year-old daughter, which was his half-sister. Well, his half-sister is now pregnant, but at the same time, a bunch of women and girls that are like distantly related to like the royal family are like dying or going missing. Even the brothers, like other brothers' daughters, like his nieces, have died. So the duke, who is like the princess's husband, makes a deal to save his daughter if he has a girl, and they actually have twins, a boy and a girl. And in order to save the girl, they make her look like her brother. They like do a binding to make her look like her brother. To do that, they basically have to kill a brother. And oh, it's so sad. It's so sad. And like the vibes I'm getting from this are very similar to like Pet Sematary by Stephen King because of what happens to the brother. And it's creepy and dark, and I'm loving it so much right now. So yeah, really enjoying this so far. So it's still Thursday, but I had to show you what showed up at my door. This guy. I'm so happy to have it. By the way, it doesn't have a dust jacket. Like, this is a printed on cover, and I kind of like that. I also really like the vines because they actually are important to the story. So yeah, so excited to have this. Really excited for the next book in this series. I also do have a little bit of an update. I did continue on with Babel by R.F. Kuang. Loving it so far. Like, I'm in the middle of like the ending. There's 2 hours left in the audiobook, and I'm probably gonna finish it today. I kind of want to drag it out longer because it's so good. I'm enjoying it a lot. A lot has happened. Let's just put it that way. I'm sad about a lot of it, but at the same time, it's just really well done. I'm really enjoying it. I'm biting my tongue so much. I'm definitely gonna be doing a spoiler review for this book as well, because there's just so much I want to say that I say right now, but I'm enjoying it so much. Really excited to see how it actually ends. And also, like, R.F. Kuang, I don't know, like, she's slowly becoming one of my favorite authors of all time, but like the way she writes like really dark scenes, but then like she manages to use description to make it humorous. There's like a part that just happened that I found myself laughing at, and I was like, this is not funny, but there was just like moments of levity like in the dark scene that are really well done, and I really love that about this book, and I'm super excited to see where it's going. Alrighty, so it's Friday, December 13th. Did I finish Babel? No, I didn't. I'm still dragging it out because I don't want to know what happens yet, but I'll probably finish it soon. So yesterday I did a thing. I decided to log on to NetGalley to try and get some arcs because I really enjoyed being able to read The Serpent and the Wolf early. So I decided to log on for the first time in like a couple years. There's like this percentage of like how many books you've gotten versus how many you've actually done reviews for, and it was like 27%. I went in and added the ones that I actually have talked about on my channel, and it came up to 47%, which is a little bit better, but the recommended is 80%, so I was pretty sure I wasn't gonna get any arcs, but I still ended up getting 2. Most of them are still pending requests that I did, but I got 2 that I'm pretty excited about. The first one is Adrift in Currents Clean and Clear, I think that's what it is, by Seanan McGuire. It's the 10th book in the Wayward Children series, and this one feels a lot different than some of the other ones. So this one is following Nadia, who is a Russian orphan. It gets adopted by an American family, well, an American couple who probably shouldn't have adopted a kid, and she's like into turtles and stuff, and then she falls in a river and is like on the other side of the river, but like that's her door. I'm enjoying it a lot so far. Oh, she's also one-armed. She was born with only one arm, and I kind of like how she doesn't think there's anything wrong with her, but then like her parents want to give her a prosthetic arm. They don't really like give her a choice in it, so like that whole dynamic is really interesting, and I'm loving it. And also I got the audiobook, not the ebook, and I really love the audiobook narrator. The audiobook narrator has like a Russian accent, but I think it works really well for this character, so I'm really enjoying that so far. And the other one I got was A Drop of Corruption by Robert Jackson Bennett. I'm so excited for this. This is the sequel to The Tainted Cup, which I really loved. I read earlier this year, so I'm really excited to see where this is going. Based off of the name, I think it's gonna have more like politics in it, so I'm excited for that, but I haven't started it yet. I really want to finish Two Twisted Crowns first because that's my ebook, but I am struggling reading this as an ebook. I might have to get the audiobook audiobook for this one because it is now working for me as an ebook. I also did make a little bit of progress on God of the Woods. I know, a lot of updates. And for that one, I just made a little bit of progress, enough to realize that it's telling like stories in 3 different timelines. So this might be a little difficult as an audiobook. Probably wouldn't recommend it as an audiobook, but I am still enjoying it. So it's still Friday, but I did finish Babel by R.F. Kuang. I love this so much. The ending was good. It wasn't as good as some of the other twists, but it was still really good. I'm definitely gonna be doing a full review for this, both spoiler free and like full of spoilers, so look out for that. But I enjoyed this so much. Definitely a new favorite of mine, and I gave it 5 stars. Additionally, I switched to Adrift in Currents Clean and Clear, and I ended up finishing that one also. This one's super adorable. I don't really have that much to say about it, but if you like talking turtles or talking foxes or rivers, and the rivers are interesting because she actually like lives in the river, which is cool, and I really enjoyed that, then I would recommend this one. I ended up giving this one 4 stars. Really good, and I just like exploring the different worlds in this series. I enjoyed this one a lot. Does seem to have a different feel than some of the other ones, but like in a good way. So it's Monday, December 16th. I have not yet finished Two Twisted Crowns by Rachel Gillig. I do have to post this video though, so I'll talk about what I read in this so far. I'm about 70% of the way in now, so the last 3 days or so, I read like 40% of the book. Well, in the first 2 weeks of reading this book, I only had read 30%. So it has picked up a lot, which I am glad that it did. I'm still regretting not getting the audiobook for this because I feel like the audiobook would be great, but I'm enjoying this a lot more, which I'm so happy about. There's definitely a lot going on, but I like the direction that it's going, so I'm excited to see how it ends. Probably finish it early on in my next vlog, fingers crossed. But I did finish one book, and that's The God of the Wood by Liz Moore, and this one, I enjoyed it quite a bit. I will say, like, I enjoyed like the family drama, but like when it comes to like the mystery, like the missing girl mystery or the murder mystery or whatever you want to call it, I was a little bit bored by it. Like, I never got to the point where like I was trying to figure out who done it, if you know what I mean. That part I didn't love. I did enjoy the story overall though. I don't think this is the type of book that I would normally pick up, and I don't think like this is the type of book that I would see myself reading or anything like that. I'm glad I got the audiobook. If I didn't, I think I probably would have DNF'd this, but I still enjoyed it, so I'm giving it 3 stars. So that's all I have for you guys. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up to support my channel. Got a ton of videos planned for the month of December, so please consider subscribing. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.